What's going on, guys? I'm Nick. Welcome back to the channel. We've got another case for the iPhone 15 Pro, and it's gonna be one from Aulumu. So let's go ahead and just jump right into it. Starting with the packaging, as always, really nice recyclable material for the packaging, and they say that right on the front. We care for the earth, 100% biodegradable materials. Love to see that. Right down here, you can see what case it is we're gonna be looking at. It is their transparent crystal case, iPhone 15 Pro. And I'm definitely excited about it. But let's go ahead and look at the back real quick. As you can see, you get a very nice picture of the case and a little bit closer up right here. And it does show you some of the features straight on the back. So you can see this has the cooling window like the last Aulumu case had that we looked at. Definitely a fan of it. I know it's pretty aesthetic, but I do think it looks cool either way. That's really all there is for the packaging. So there's a piece of tape on the side that you open up and it unfolds just like this, and you are immediately greeted by the case itself. Super nice to see right there. So we're gonna go ahead and pull this out. This is all recycle, and you have the case. That is a very nice looking case, and of course Aulumu sticks with that kind of future looking design, which I am a huge fan of and I really enjoy. Looking over at the inside, of course, you can see it is MagSafe compatible. It does have those magnets built in. And aside from that, there isn't too much going on the inside. It is all just one solid, rigid piece of plastic. It is not a soft kind of moldable clear case. So I do prefer this style of clear case. I think they're more protective, and these tend to stay clear for a lot longer. I've had this case for well over a month now. I do tend to test clear cases longer because I want to see if they yellow, especially being out in the sun, in and out of my pocket, things like that, a lot of touching. And this has stayed completely clear. One thing I do have to note before we toss the phone in, these buttons, they do tend to rattle. They are floating buttons, and that is kind of expected when it comes to a rigid clear case and floating buttons. But you can take a look at the inside of them. They are very nice and tactile buttons, so I can't hate on them really at all. And I'm gonna go ahead and shake the case again once we toss the phone in. But let's grab the phone right now. We have the iPhone 15 Pro right here in natural titanium, and we're gonna go ahead and snap it in. So, as always, just like that. And this is what you're going to be looking at. A super nice clear case, and of course, you can see the color of your phone throughout the entire thing. Get the Apple logo right there in the center, and we can see that little window right here by your volume buttons. You can feel that little hole, and it's really not uncomfortable or anything like that. I actually like the kind of grip it provides. When you're holding your phone, my finger tends to land there, so it's nice to see that there's a little bit of grip right there, especially on a clear case, which I tend to find a little slippery. But I am going to shake the case again. Once you have the phone in there, that rattling is really non-existent. You don't have anything to worry about anymore. But let's go ahead and start with the fit test. Since this case is so rigid, there is zero pull all the way around. Even by the buttons, you can see there's zero pull, and I am really pulling right there. So super nice to see that. Over at the top as well, no pulling at all. By the bottom, no pulling either. It's an extremely rigid clear case. I have even drop tested this case by accident, and it lasts very well. It's extremely sturdy. You have nothing to worry about. But now let's go ahead and take a look at the cameras and see our protection there. So you can see camera lens is very deeply covered up. You have nothing to worry about when you're placing your phone down on flat surfaces. If your phone happens to fall on gravel or something like that, of course, that is going to end up in there, but that is every case. That is not specific to this case. I actually really enjoy the amount of coverage that you receive when it comes to the camera protection on here. Now over at the front, I do have a tempered glass screen protector on this phone, but I still get just a tiny bit of a lip, which I can definitely appreciate. As you can see right there, just barely comes over the phone. If you're not running a screen protector, which I do recommend, but if you're not, you do get a little bit more of a lip. But this is totally fine, especially if you're putting your phone down on flat surfaces. You have nothing to worry about. But moving over to the sides, starting with the volume button side, you can see you do get a dedicated button for your action button, which is really nice. I'm not a huge fan of just the cutout since it's a little harder to reach in there. So this dedicated button is extremely nice. It's also a floating button. So let's go ahead and test this out. You can see it's an extremely tactile button, very nice to press. And now let's try out these two volume buttons. Same thing from these two. All three of these buttons are extremely tactile and easy to press. I really enjoy floating buttons. I know we have to deal with the rattle, but I'm okay with that if we get a very satisfying press like we do here. Now moving down, you can see it's just clear material. And then you get to the bottom and you do get a rectangle shape cutout for that USB-C port, which is super nice to see. I love the rectangle shape cutout. I know it doesn't really change anything. It's totally aesthetic, but I really enjoy it. And I found that it does tend to fit a lot of third-party chargers. I've had no issues with any chargers. And then we do get precise cutouts for your speaker and your microphone down here, which are very nice to see. Now moving over to the power button side, you do get just a tiny bit of text right here below the power button. Not sure if my camera's gonna pick that up. It says designed by Aulumu. So just a little bit of branding, really can't be mad at that. And now let's test out this floating power button right here. And of course you can see there, it's also a very nice, easy to press button. So really enjoy all of the buttons on this case. They have to be some of the easiest to press all around. Now looking over at the top, it is completely closed and it's all the same material. So really nice to see that there. And of course, we end up at the back and we have to test MagSafe. Of course, super happy to see that it's been integrated here. And let's go ahead and start that off with the Spigen OMAG ring right here as always, which is a phone grip and stand in one. And we're just gonna snap this in right here. You can see it adheres very well and shaking right off the bat. You can tell we did get it to fall, but let's snap back on, try that again. It does take a very decent amount of fighting to get that off. Now let's go ahead and put it down. Using that as a stand, you can go ahead, tap away, and you can tell this is never going to come off on its own. So super nice to see that. I do think that the back of this accessory, it has a rubber silicone material on the back, does tend to adhere very well to clear cases like this, providing almost an extra suction, but we are going to test a few other accessories to mitigate that. I do want to move on to the Apple MagSafe battery pack right here so we can test out some wireless charging as well as a little bit of strength. So we're going to snap this on. See, starts charging right away, so no issues there. And I do want to make sure that right here, even though you do have a very nice amount of camera protection, that lip does not interfere with this battery pack at all. You actually have a very decent amount of space between the two. If you're using a huge battery pack, like one of the Anchor ones or anything like that, it might come up and butt against the lip, but I really don't think that's something you have to worry about. Now, testing the strength of it, this accessory has the same material on the back. It does have a silicone material, which definitely adheres very well to this case. Doing some false drops, some pretty hard hits, and this is one of those cases that I can say I'm pretty confident if you drop it with your battery pack on, that battery pack is not going to bounce off. Of course, double check, make sure it's still on there, but I do have a lot of confidence in this one. Just pulling it off, you can feel there is a lot of force that goes into that. So definitely appreciate that. And now a big one for me has got to be the leather MagSafe wallet test. I do still have the leather wallet. Not a huge fan of fine woven, but this wallet has been doing me good for years now. So we're gonna snap this on. I'm probably not gonna get that little animation, but that's fine. I can tell that I do think the silicone material on the back of the two other accessories helps a ton. This is obviously just leather on the back, which does slip around a bit more on these clear cases, and I can definitely notice it. So again, false drops. I don't think, depending on the height that you drop this case, if you have your wallet on, your wallet might fall off. I would definitely check for this one, but strength alone putting it in and out of your pocket, I really don't think you need to worry about it. It also does not interfere with the camera lip, so super nice to see that. But I do trust this case with my MagSafe wallet, which is of course a big one for me. We do have one more MagSafe test, and it's going to be the Base One from Nomad. This is a 1 pound charging base. You're just meant to leave it on your desk and you can set it and forget it. You place it down, it should start charging just fine, of course. Full MagSafe puck built into this glass and metal base, and we're gonna see if this case can lift it all on its own. So just touching the phone itself, we're gonna go ahead and lift, and not even worried. I knew that it was going to be able to lift this base. We're gonna go ahead and try and turn it on its side, see how this goes. I'm gonna put my hand down here just in case, and you can see right there, you can see my hand going through the bottom. We have nothing to worry about. If I shake it, I knew that it would fall. It is not the strongest magnets we've seen, but the fact that it can lift it and get that little bit of shake in does go a long way. That is not a magnet to laugh at. But that's really going to be it for this one, guys. I'll give you all one last look around the case, and then we'll call it a day. So moving over to the front, we do get that minimal screen lip. Again, I have a tempered glass screen protector on this phone. If you don't have one, you are going to get a tiny bit more lip, but I do recommend the screen protector. Moving over to the back, you get very nice camera protection on this case. You have really nothing to worry about when it comes to those camera lenses. Now over on the sides, of course, 3 floating buttons. Really nice to see a button for that action button. Over on the bottom, rectangle shaped cutout for your USB-C port and accurate speaker and microphone cutouts. Over on the power button side, a little bit of branding designed by Aulumu right there, which you can feel. It is actually textured, and I don't mind that. It's really cool to notice that. You do have a floating power button, which is also extremely tactile, and then it's going to be completely closed over on the top. And of course, the back, you just get that sweet design, and then that little window, which is meant to help with cooling. But that is really it for this one, guys. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to hit that like button down below. And if you want to see more videos like this, check out the channel. Remember to subscribe. I'm going to be putting out a ton of case videos. We still have a ton we need to catch up on. But that's it for this one, guys. I will see y'all in the next one.